guys, Campo back here, just on the drive into the gym, having a good time. This video, I want to talk about UFC 308. Ilia Topuria, Max Holloway. Oh my gosh, for the featherweight title. It's been a long road for Max Holloway trying to make his way back to that title shot. But he's finally made it. He's finally ready to go. He's kicking it off. Ilia Topuria coming off that huge win to get that title against Alexander Volkanovski, which broke my heart because I love Volk, but man, Ilia is an absolute beast. And Max coming off that huge win against Justin Gaethje, oh my gosh, knocked him out in that last second, but absolutely dominated the whole fight. Absolutely crazy. On this card, there's so many different things said. Nurmagomedov's on it. Ankalaev versus Rakic is on there for probably the number one contender spot for the light heavyweight title. Man, this card's actually really good. Danny Gay. There's a lot of good fights on here, but the only ones I want to give an official prediction of, because I think Ankalaev's going to absolutely annihilate Rakic. But I think the two main ones that everyone's been worrying about is Robert Whittaker, Khamzat Chimaev for the co-main, and for the main event, Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway for the featherweight title. Those two are the main ones people are worried about, so there's only two I'm going to give a prediction on. Speaking of which, I've been pretty good this year with my predictions. Even last weekend, before I get started, I was heartbroken that Tim Tszyu lost, but on Sportsbet they had a BYO on 4+ knockdowns for either fighter, and I thought that's actually really good, and it was paying out quite a lot. So I put a $5 on that and won back $80, because then I looked at the headliner and I didn't get to watch the fight, and I got to replay, and it was Tim Tszyu got knocked down 6 times. What a bloody warrior. So I love Tim Tszyu. I think he's a beast, and it sucks that he lost, but he showed his heart and he was out there. So I wanted to give a quick shout out to him, and that was awesome. Even replaying that fight, it was awesome to see how he got up, but sucked that he lost. My official prediction, so I'll start off with Khamzat Chimaev and Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker coming back on a tear with the last couple of wins. He just took a dangerous fight against an unranked opponent who was looking absolutely dangerous. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was better come up those ranks, but nah. Robert Whittaker came, took the fight. He could have waited it out, but no, and he knocked that guy out pretty darn quick. First round. Khamzat Chimaev, I think his last fight was against Kamaru Usman, who was on a 2-day notice, and that was ages ago. So Khamzat's been plagued with a lot of sickness and injuries. So on and off, he's been he'll have a fight and then he'll be off for ages because he's sick or can't get a fight. So he has these big breaks in between fights, but when he comes back, he absolutely annihilates or does really well. But his holes in his game is that he absolutely goes sprinting in the first round, and then in the second half he fades, and that's kind of where, like, if he can get that person out in the first round, that's what he wants to do. He wants to absolutely bulldoze, wrestle, fight, like he just takes it to him straight away. But unfortunately, he does wear down in the second half, and that's where people thought he should have lost the Kamaru Usman fight, because in the second half, looked like Kamaru came back, but unfortunately, the judges didn't see that. So Khamzat's really he has potential, so he's coming up, but Robert Whittaker is a real tester. Robert Whittaker's come back into his form. He beat Paulo Costa just before he fought this unranked guy. Like, he's really come back to his own, but Robert Whittaker's got his own faults. He's been knocked out quite a lot. He's taken some big hits. His latest knockout loss was against Dricus du Plessis, and that was pretty savage, but Dricus, as you can see, is a legit fighter. But then Robert Whittaker showed afterwards against Paulo when he took a big spinning wheel kick and still came back and won the fight by decision. It shows that his chin's still there and still kicking. And then in the next fight, absolutely bulldozed the next guy. But clinically, great striking, shows that strikes well. So this is actually a tough one to pick. When you say everything out loud, I say everything out loud, it makes me think Robert Whittaker by decision, because I think he's going to just hold on, wear off Khamzat. I think he's learned from his mistakes, where he doesn't fall into the traps in the first half, lets the other guy get tired,
then comes back and takes her, finds the openings. And I feel like that's Robert Whittaker's way to get through and get the win, is let him come at him, fight him off, defensive, and then find the openings for the second half and just put it on him. I think Robert Whittaker gets the decision, unanimous. Alright, and I hope he does, because I love Robert Whittaker. Aussie boy. Well, New Zealand, but fights Australia. We take him. The main event, Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria, the BMF versus the featherweight champion. Alright, I'm going to put this out there right now. I'm a Max Holloway super fan, so I hope he wins this fight. My heart wants him to win this fight. And that's putting it out there now. So I'm going to be a little bit biased about this, but I'll try to be non-biased as I can. The thing is with Ilia Topuria, though, this dude is the next generation. He is legit. His boxing is on point. His hands are close. He's got power. He's got technique. He knows how to move his head. Yes, he got caught once with that head kick, but that was one of his other fights back before. He's really learned from that fight. He's got wrestling, jiu-jitsu. He's an all-rounder fighter. He's the next generation coming up, and every guy he's come through, he's absolutely found a way to absolutely annihilate them. If Alex Volkanovski had a bit more time between that fight and the Islam knockout, things could have been different, yes, but still at the end of the day, Ilia got in there and absolutely got in there and took him out real quick. And he found the opening. That was absolutely amazing. Max, on the other hand, came in, ever since losing those fights to Volk, he's regrouped and he's absolutely beaten every single person in his way, very convincingly, through his boxing, through his kickboxing, that Max Holloway style, but this time really picking them shots, especially the Justin Gaethje one, going up to lightweight. This was an interesting move. Everyone had everything against him. I actually thought Max was looking good this time, because last time he did it, he didn't have enough time to actually bulk up against Dustin. So this time he actually had time. He looked in form, and I feel like this would have been a great fight. And I actually did bet Max Holloway by knockout, and I got very lucky there. And he uses those spinning kicks against Justin Gaethje. But this is a different fighter. Ilia isn't Justin Gaethje. He's completely different. He's, no offense to Justin, he's a bit more sharp on the striking, a bit more even tighter. Justin's a great striker, but Ilia's a great boxer, great fighter, great striker. So my official prediction, Max has never been knocked out before. I'm going to predict Max Holloway gets knocked out this time by Ilia Topuria. I hope I get proven right. I hope Max gets that win any way possible, but I think this is the one. I think Ilia is the next generation, and he's going to knock out Max Holloway. That will be my bet. I'm going to put Robert Whittaker by decision and Ilia Topuria by knockout. Oh God, I hope I'm wrong, but my head's telling me that. This is my smart way of thinking about it, but this is it. Thank you as always, guys. That's my official 308 UFC predictions, and catch you in the next one.